Nancy Pelosi, I'm just throwing this in to reinforce my comments about Joe Biden wanting to bring the nation together and all this utter balderdash. All right, here is Pelosi. Go.
What we saw in that Senate today was a cowardly group of Republicans who apparently have no options because they were afraid to defend their job, respect the institution in which they served.
Okay, now I'm hearing that the reason that Democrats didn't call more witnesses, didn't call any, just had a conversation put into the record, was because the first witness, Lindsey Graham, a Republican senator from South Carolina, and others would be Nancy Pelosi. Because the word is that she was tipped off. And I don't know whether this is true or not. I usually don't report rumor and speculation, but this is all over the place. The word is that she was tipped off that there would be violence at the Capitol that day and didn't take any action or spread it around at all. That could be totally false. But the threat was made that if you Democrats start to bring in witnesses, Nancy Pelosi is going to be number one witness for us, the Republicans. So all of a sudden, there was a back off. Makes sense, but again, I cannot confirm that. So the lawyer representing Donald Trump, Michael Vander Veen, his house was vandalized in Philadelphia, and another lawyer representing Trump, same thing happened to him. So this is bringing the country together. This is what this is, right? That's what it is. So all of this smoke blowing from the Democrats, from President Biden, you know, it kind of gets me a little torqued off. Tell the truth, will you? You hate Trump. That's what it's all about. You hate him. Just say it. Media reaction, it's predictable. I didn't watch it, but my crack staff did and gave me about 15 sound bites to choose from. So the first one I selected was House Impeachment Manager Congresswoman Madeline Dean from Pennsylvania. Go.
Think about it. For the first time in however many years, we had an insurrection incited by the President of the United States, where 5 people died. More have died since. Hundreds were injured. People lost fingers, lost eyesight. The House was desecrated. The Capitol was desecrated. People were terrorized. This was incited by the President of the United States. Of course there must be a full commission, an impartial commission.
Impartial commission. She just convicted the President, Trump, of the most heinous crimes, murder. That woman just convicted him of murder. Said, oh, it was because of him these people died. But I want an impartial commission to make me look like a fool. Yeah, sure. Sure you do. It's just, again, just tell the truth. You hate him. That's all. Second soundbite. I never heard of this woman before, Yvette Simpson. No idea who she is. But she apparently is a former Democrat member of the Cincinnati City Council. Wow. You know, you got to have somebody from the Cincinnati City Council on your national program. George Stephanopoulos. Roll the tape.
Donald Trump got away with murder, plain and simple, and everybody's calling procedural playbooks for that, and there is no reason for that. I mean, if the Republicans had a Democrat in that seat, they would have broken the rules, created new rules, and they would have made it happen. And the idea that now he is emboldened, that the people who support him know that they can get away with this makes me afraid.
Makes her afraid. Oh, I'm afraid of these Trump supporters. Bunch of garbage. I love Dick Durbin. Don't you love Dick? He's been there since the War of 1812 as a Democratic senator. Roll the tape.
Many of them were voting out of fear. What would happen if they went home? I would just ask them to take a reflection on the future of their party, which embraces QAnon conspiracy and Proud Boys, and then shuns Cindy McCain and Bill Cassidy. What is the future of a Republican Party in that posture?
Well, I don't know what the future of the Republican Party. What is the future of the Democrat Party that embraces the Black Lives Matter global organization, a communist outfit, and Antifa? Now, of course, Chuck Todd should have asked that question, but no. So Republicans embracing QAnon and Proud Boys, but the Democrat, Black Lives Matter, Durbin, Mr. Durbin, maybe, no. All right, George Will, perhaps the biggest phony in the country, puts himself up as like a conservative writer. He works at the Washington Post, so he panders to his employers. So this is what I tweeted let's see. This is a. Let me do my SOT, sound on tape, from February 9th. This is what I said February 9th. Go. They edited out, the Democrats, and this is just beyond the pale. They edited out, we're going to walk down peacefully. So they cut that out of the president's speech. Now that is deception at the highest level. No more needs to be said about it. So the entire Democratic Party should be ashamed. All right, that was February 9th, okay? So in the House manager's presentation, they used tape of the riots and everything else and of President Trump's speech, but they edited out the comments peacefully and patriotically, we'll walk to the Capitol. So Will, 5 days later, writes in his column, quote, the presentation by the House managers was a demonstration, the more welcome for its rarity, of congressional conscientiousness and meticulousness. So Will knew that they edited out the exculpatory part of President Trump's speech, and he says to the Washington Post readers, this is congressional conscientiousness and meticulousness. All right, here's what I tweeted after I read this yesterday. Put it on up. On February 9th, the Democrat House managers deceived Americans by editing out President Trump saying peacefully and patriotically and speaking to the January 6th protesters in Washington. That's a fact. Today, Washington Post columnist George Will wrote, the presentation by the impeachment House managers was a demonstration of congressional conscientiousness and meticulousness. Thanks for the honesty, Georgie. I mean, really, it has consciousness there, so we get conscientiousness. Okay, all right. So what am I supposed to do with George Will? What can you do? I mean, blatantly misleading his readers, and there's no he said, she said, no defense. He did it. Think anyone will call him out? Will his editors say, George, maybe next week you're going to have to explain the meticulousness and conscientious line since the Congressional House managers edited out the most important exculpatory part of President Trump's speech? Maybe you owe it to the Washington Post readers to kind of explain that. Never happened. This is when I say the corrupt corporate media, this is what I mean. Bezos, Amazon, owns the Washington Post. Will works for Bezos. So Will is going to give him what he wants. But then Will struts around like, oh, I'm an intellectual conservative. What he did to me in killing Reagan was just unconscionable. And that's when I knew. So Google Bill OReilly, George Will, and you'll see what I told him face to face, because I'm not a backstabber. I'll stab you right in the front if you need it. Well, Joe Biden is going to be president, and we may be in for some economic uncertainty. That's why now more than ever, I recommend you diversify with gold and silver. The only company I recommend is American Hartford Gold. So please call them right now and tell them Bill OReilly sent you, and they will give you up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. Now, since I've been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold itself up over 40%, silver up over 60%. So don't wait. Call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Bill OReilly here. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to the First TV YouTube page. Just hit the big red subscribe button below, and you'll get clips and highlights of my program, The No Spin News, every single day. We'll see you soon.